What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Prosper back with another reaction video. In this video, I'm about to react to Vinnie Paz, You Can't Be Neutral on a Moving Train. I've heard two of his tracks, bro. I've listened to End of Days. That's the first track that I listened to when I got introduced to him. And I enjoyed that track a lot, bro. And then the second track I listened to was Uncommon Valor featuring R.A. the Rugged Man. And I did a reaction to that. It got blocked, but it's on my Patreon if you guys want to check that out. But yeah, I mess with him heavy, bro. I mess with him heavy. He's a dope spitter, bro. He spits truth. I like his perspective on things. So I'm a fan, bro. I'm definitely a fan. And I just stumbled upon this track and then noticed a lot of people did reactions to this track. So I was like, might as well just do a reaction to it as well. And it's 7 minutes and 30 seconds long. So you know he's going to be talking a lot of truth in this shit, bro. And it has going to have a dope message and all. So I'm excited. I'm ready to see what's up with this track. If you guys want to request tracks for me to react to, the reaction request form will be found down below in the pinned comment of the comment section. But before we get into the video, I'm going to need y'all to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, roll 200K subs, let's get it, let's go. Post notifications on. And with that being said, let's check this out. Alright, let's get it.
Governments lie all the time. Well, not just the American government. It's just in the nature of governments. Well, they have to lie. And since they don't represent the people, and so since they act against the interest of the people, the only way they can hold power is if they lie to the people.
That's interesting right there, bro. Howard Zinn, I never heard of him before, but that's true, bro. Governments lie all the time. So, and then he said, not just the American government, but it's just the nature of governments in general. And since they don't represent the people, and they act against the interest of the people, the only way they can hold the power is if they lie to the people. What will never make sense to me, bro, is how people still put their trust in the government after they've proven time and time again to be liars. They've never proven why we should trust them, but they've proven time and time again why we shouldn't trust them. So this is very interesting, bro, like how he broke it down. But the sad reality is people will hear this and they still will trust the government and believe them, bro. So that's dope. That's a dope perspective. I've never seen it broken down like that.
The spreading stain of deception. I am cruel to myself. Things will never be the same.
If they told people the truth, they wouldn't last very long.
That's very true, bro. That's very true. I like this part, bro.
Came ashore greeted with nothing but niceness, sailing west in attempt to find golden spices. Dominated by the popes and frenzy for ISIS. The Catholic Church expelled Jews and claimed it was righteous. The first man to see land would get a reward and get a yearly pension for life, clearly from God. A young sailor saw land, said we isn't far. Columbus lied, said he saw it the evening before. They touched ground, they were greeted by the Arawak. Columbus had them locked up as prisoners in an hour flat. He wanted to find a source of gold, and that was that. And when they thought that wasn't fair, then he stabbed they back. When there was no more gold, he took slaves instead and left 250,000 Indians in Haiti dead. The men died in mines, the women died at work. The children died from lack of milk and they died in the dirt. They were just taking advantage of a passive people. They were just being the savages of massive evil. That's the church work, that's the path of massive ego. That's the blood of Abraham being stabbed by the steeple. It's 16, 19.
Hold up. That beat changed, bro. I did not expect that. But let's go back to this verse, bro. He's told so much truth in this verse, bro. So it seems like he's just gonna be breaking down history. You know what I mean? It's one of those tracks where he's just gonna be just giving you history. That's what it is, a history lesson. One thing I like how he mentioned, bro, is how Columbus's travel was backed by the Catholic Church. You know what I mean? Wanting to colonize the entire world and spread the Catholic religion or all around the world, which I never knew. I never knew about that when learning about this in history, bro. I learned about that like recently when I was watching interviews and shit, and documentaries and shit. But yeah, that's dope. I like how he put that in there. You know what I mean? Because you'll see a lot of people praise Columbus, and that's because a lot of Catholic people praise Columbus, and it comes from there because there's, I guess you could say, a connection between them. What he say right here, but I like it, bro. I like how he's just giving you a straight history lesson. Oh yeah, he said Columbus came ashore greeted with nothing but niceness, which is true. They treated them so kind, bro. And then he stabbed them in the back, bro, when there was no more gold, and he left 250,000 Indians in Haiti dead. The men died in mines. The women died at work. Children died from lack of milk, and they died in the dirt. They were just taking advantage of passive people. They were just being the savages of massive evil, which is crazy because you'll hear everyone say the natives were savages, when in reality they were the savages. You know what I mean? Coming into a land that was never even their own and slaughtering all of them, bro. And then he hits you with, I guess that's a Bible verse or what? Not a Bible verse, but passage from basically something that happened in the Bible. You know what I mean? That's the blood of Abraham being stabbed by the steeple. I don't know much about the Bible, but being stabbed, being betrayed. So that's dope. I mess with it, and I like the beat switch, bro. Going into the second verse. Seems like he doesn't have a hook.
We're just being the savages of massive evil. That's the church work. That's the path of massive ego. That's the blood of Abraham being stabbed by the steeple. At 16, 19, They were patiently waiting for a ship to carry slaves that was changing the nation. The white man was a cannibal praying to Satan. Hatred, contempt, or pity, or patronization. That's the cornerstone, everything racism based in. The African had a more advanced civilization. Black was slave, master was white rationalization. 50 million dead, that's Western civilization. At first they appeared in the north, and they were helpless in the face of superior force. And all of them were chained together, they really was lost. Racism isn't natural, it's merely divorce. Before the slave trade, black was considered distasteful. By the Oxford Dictionary, I found it disgraceful. It's not a natural tendency to be bitter and hateful. It's a natural enemy of the critical staple. Slavery grew as the plantation system grew. The reason for that's kinda easily traceable. Society of helpless dependence was capable of saying fuck a slave master, you in slavery too. 7 slaves were...
Alright, hold up, bro. I like the beat switches, bro. I like the beat switches going into another verse, you know what I mean? So it kind of gets you honed in on what he's gonna say, and it's dope. I mess with it, bro, the way it's structured. But now he's talking about the slavery, you know what I mean? He said white man was a cannibal praying to Satan. I guess the praying to Satan part is relating to how they were evil. They worshiped the devil in the sense that what they did was what Satan would want them to do, what Satan is for. And talking about how they were cannibals, I guess talking about how when white people were in the Caucasus, the mountain of Caucasus, they were Neanderthals. You know what I mean? They weren't civilized and all that. And that's facts, bro. It's not being racist saying that or anything, but it's just what it is. The same way that white people say Africans live in huts and shit like that, it's the other way around, bro. It was totally the other way around. And he even said that the African had a more advanced civilization, which is true. And Africa was more civilized and developed than Europe at the time, bro. Economically, politically, technically, all of it, bro. They had everything. It was way more civilized. Just look at the architecture, bro. Just do research, bro. It definitely was. But they never tell us this shit, bro. They never tell us this shit. They never tell us this shit because they want it to seem like they did us a favor by bringing us here. When there was no favor at all with that shit, bro. So, and then also like how he touched up on before the slave trade, black was considered distasteful by the Oxford Dictionary. I find it disgraceful. even the definition of black, they considered it distasteful. You know what I mean? They defined the word black as distasteful. And I think Malcolm X had something like where he was, maybe it was in the movie, I don't know if it was true, but if you watch the Malcolm X movie, how, I think, was it Elijah Muhammad that showed him black and white in the dictionary, the contrast, and then also like how he touches on, it's not a natural tendency to be bitter and hateful, it's a natural enemy of the critical staple, which is some real shit, bro. It's not natural to live your life with hate of another person. Slavery grew as the plantation system grew, which is facts. I mess with it, bro. I mess with it. It's just a whole history lesson, bro. Let's keep it going.
The reason for that's kinda easily traceable. Society of helpless dependence was capable of saying fuck a slave master, you in slavery too. 7 slaves were put to death for murdering master. Fear of slave revolt had them developing faster. You a Catalan killer, an elegant bastard. I would burn the white man while smelling the ashes. From time to time, white man was part of the resistance. White indentured servants wanted no part of the system. King Philip's War showed that if people would listen, that they could maybe break the complex chain of oppression. Tyranny is tyranny, but that's a concession. But the women, they was treated like that of possessions. Black women had it work cause they was abused. That's the white justification of Aryan blues. The next move was to dominate the Mexicans. James Polk dominated them like they was next to kin. He sent Colonel Cross a lot of them and let them in. 11 days later, his skull was crushed, so message sent. We take nothing by conquest, that was the mantra. The military wasn't human, they were just monsters. Henry David Thoreau refused to pay his taxes, denounced the Mexican War and got locked in shackles. The 20th century opened.
Bro, the way the beat switches, bro, and just goes into another aspect of history is dope. I mess with that. He said 7 slaves were put to death for murdering master. Fear of slave revolt had them developing faster. More slaves would be... There were more people that would become slaves because of that. You know what I mean? Fear of a slave revolt. Fear of death. And not only that, bro. Because let's be real. If one person was willing to die, they don't care. They'll go kill all the masters. But it was the idea that I could die as a result of this nigga going and killing that person, master or whatever. So you're going to make sure he doesn't too. You know what I mean? So it keeps you it keeps you enslaved. It's a diabolical way of thinking, but it worked in the sense that if they punished you for another person's mistake, you'll make sure that person doesn't make that same mistake again. Which it isn't a mistake, but from their eyes it is a mistake. You know what I mean? So they brainwashed you to thinking you shouldn't do that because it's going to cost you your life if you don't want to die. Which is so diabolical if you think about it, bro. A lot of this history, bro, I definitely need to go and research. But what was he saying? From time to time, white man was part of the resistance. White indentured servants wanted no part of the system. So I guess there were white indentured servants. So they I guess they fought, you know what I mean, against the system. I don't know who King Philip's War is. First Indian War. So I guess he's talking about the Mexicans in this. He goes to the Mexicans, dominate Mexicans. I guess he's talking about the civilization in Mexico. But definitely need to do research on this verse, bro. Definitely need to do a lot of research on this verse. But I'm liking it, bro. It's a history lesson all around.
Refused to pay his taxes, denounced the Mexican War and got locked in shackles. The 20th century opened, anger re-emerged. Reality of ordinary life was being heard. Anarchists and feminists came from factory work. Communism, socialism seemed to be rebirth. War is the health of the state is what Bourne said. And if you was born around that time, you was born dead. The Espionage Act had people confused, cause it was double talking, they didn't know how it be used. Supposedly it was an act against spying. Du Bois noted that was bullshit and they was lying. Charles Schenck was arrested in Philadelphia for printing and distributing leaflets because they was helping you. He was indicted, tried, and then found guilty, and spent 6 months in jail. Don't that sound silly? Had his freedom taken away by his own nation. But there's a lesson: do not submit to intimidation. The act still exists today, and the shit is real. Supposedly Kennedy tried to have that shit appealed. Eugene Debs did 10 years for no purpose. He obstructed the recruiting and enlistment service. The post.
All right, hold on, bro. A lot of this is over my head, bro. Over my head. What did he say? The Espionage Act. I don't know what he means by that. Yeah, I definitely need to do a lot of research on this. But one thing that I like, bro, is there's a lesson: do not submit to the intimidation, which is real, bro. Because if you fall for that shit, bro, you'll do something that you don't want to do. You know what I mean? You're not thinking rationally. You're operating based off emotion, mainly fear, which will result in something that you wouldn't want to actually result in. So I fuck with it. I fuck with it. Definitely need to do my research on this verse, bro. Especially the acts he was talking about, as well as a lot of the names he was mentioning throughout this verse. But just a lot of truth, bro. A lot of history.
Supposedly Kennedy tried to have that shit appealed. Eugene Debs did 10 years for no purpose. He obstructed the recruiting and enlistment service. The post office started taking mail privileges of magazines who printed anti-war sentiments. A socialist named Fairchild had it right. He said that they can shoot me, but they can't make me fight. They sentenced him to a year in jail, and that was reckless. 65,000 men, conscientious objectors. They were sent to army bases to work there. They were treated sadistically and were hurt there. They were strangled with a hemp rope till they collapsed, and officers punched their stomach and their lower back. A garden hose was placed on their face with a nozzle about 6 inches from them so they couldn't swallow. The war ended in 1918. The government was just trying to wipe the slate clean. Hemingway wrote Farewell to Arms. Dalton Trumbo wrote Johnny Got His Gun. The war was over, but they didn't learn their lesson. Twin tactics of control, reform and repression. The patriotic fervor of war had been invoked. That's why the country that you live in is a fucking joke. You cannot be neutral on a moving train. This is a story about the lies that your teacher told you. This is real, actual, factual. No lies in the whole record. If you don't believe me, look it up. I'm trying to share the shit that I learned with y'all.
That's real.
Do the knowledge.
That's real.
Your government does not care about you.
That's real.
The people in power do not care about you.
That's real, bro. That's real.
Understand that. Power to the people.
War is like a fix. You know, you get high on war. We won. And then you're down on the ground again. And you need another fix. You need another war. Why do you think we've had war after war after war after war? Every war they say this is the end.
That's true.
This is the last war.
That's true.
In World War I, they said this is a war to end all wars. And then not long after that was World War II. And then soon the United States was waging war in Korea and then Vietnam.
That's true.
If you study history, what you learn is that wars are always accompanied by lies.
That's true, too.
Wars are always accompanied by deception.
That's true. Bitch ass propaganda, bro. I mess with it, bro. I mess with it. What he say over here, bro? So this is basically an anti-government song, obviously, but anti-war as well. I think that's what he was getting at. And at the end, he was talking about, hold up, who is it? A socialist named Fairchild had it right. He said they can shoot me, but they can't make me fight. And that's real, bro. That's real. That's some real shit like that, bro. It is. And then they sentenced him. Kind of reminds me of Ali, you know what I mean? When he said he's not going to go fight no Vietnam people, the Vietnamese, because they didn't do anything to me. In fact, my enemy is you guys here in this country. And then he went to jail for that too. dodging the draft or whatever. That's dope. I like that line a lot, bro. Wait, what else he said? The war is over, but they did not learn a lesson. Twin tactics of control, reform, and repression. Patriotic fervor of war have been invoked. That's why the country you live in is a fucking joke. And then at the end, bro, the outro, what he said is some true shit. You cannot be neutral on a moving train. Which is a quote Howard Zinn said at the end, I guess. That's where he got that line from. And he said how everything you learn, your teachers told you is a lie, which is true. I see that, you know what I mean? And he said everything that he said in this record is true. And if you don't believe him, look it up. Which is, he's sharing you the truth. And like, he's not telling you to believe what he's saying. He's saying look it up, even if you don't believe it, or even if you don't know much, like me. I definitely need to go do my research, because a lot of this shit definitely went over my head. But he's right, bro. Your government doesn't care about you. People in the power don't care about you, bro. And that's what it is. The poor people are always the ones going and fighting the war. And when they come back, they're poor and broke. While the rich get richer, bro. From all the resources, all of it, bro. So, I mess with this, bro. I mess with a lot of information. A lot of it went over my head, besides the first and second verse, I would say. But I like it. I like the way the song was structured. Beat changes between each verse. Every verse contains so much truth. And the way he raps, bro. The way he raps is dope as hell, too, bro. He keeps you in tune. I fuck with him, bro. I definitely mess with his music. Definitely need to check out more of his shit, bro. Definitely request a lot more of his music for me to react to in the comments. In the pinned comment, you know what I mean? The reaction request form. But yeah, if y'all enjoyed this reaction video, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn post notifications on, share the video, do all that fun stuff. And with that being said, I'm going to see y'all next one. I'm out. Peace.